guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to look at what's on my Kindle. I'm slightly nervous, so let's jump into it. Right, so before we jump into this, I've got it all loaded up. Unread books are sitting here, but this genuinely was the best investment of 2020. I have used this so much. It comes with me everywhere I go. Oh, I just love it, and especially at night when I can't sleep and I don't want to have like the lamps on or my book light on. This just works perfectly. It doesn't disturb my husband. It's great. Now let's look at the ridiculous number of books I have on here. So the first book I have on here is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J Maas. This is the second book in the ACOTAR trilogy. Did I get that right? Do I sound like a true fan? I read A Court of Thorns and Roses in December and really enjoyed it. I really like Sarah J Maas's writing. It's very good, but it's also like it sucks you in. And this, well, in the first book we follow Farah as something happens and she gets dragged into the Feywild. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to spoil it for those of you who are like me and haven't read it yet. But yeah, so A Court of Mist and Fury. The next book I have is also another Sarah J Maas book, and it's Crescent City. I don't know a lot about this. I know that it's kind of a urban fantasy detective story. I think I'm right on that. But again, I just really liked her writing. I recently read Catwoman by her, and I enjoyed that as well. So yeah, I just figured, you know, it's on the daily deal. Let's buy it, read it, see how much I enjoy it. Yeah. Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I've been on the fence about this. I wasn't going to pick it up, but then it was in so many best books of the year that I did it. I bought it. I got it. All I know is this follows someone who gets accepted into Yale, I believe. I think it's Yale. And she doesn't really know why she's been accepted because she's not like an exceptional student. But basically there are a bunch of secret societies on campus, and one of them is quite dangerous and dealing with magic, and so she's recruited to investigate this. I'm giving really vague synopsises to this because this is what I know and all I want to know going into it. So I will link, as always, down below. I'll have Goodreads links so you can check them out. But yeah, so we'll see if I like it. It was enticing. Everyone was like, you need to read it. So I listened. I bought it. I'll read it. Next, we have Charlotte by Helen Moffat. I think it's Moffat. And this is following the events of Pride and Prejudice. So what happens there with Charlotte and her marrying Mr. Collins. I love Pride and Prejudice. What's wrong with my brain? Anyway, so it follows her life after she marries Mr. Collins, and that's all I know about it. And then we have My Lovely Wife, which is about a couple who murder people to keep their marriage spicy. Again, all I know. Don't know why, don't know how this come about, don't know the conversation, but apparently it's really good. It's super thrillery, and I'm into it. And then we have Trevor Noah's Born a Crime. I really like Trevor Noah. I think he is funny and intelligent and witty, and I just like enjoy his commentary on things. And this is about him growing up during apartheid in South Africa and being a crime because he's half black and half white, which was not allowed. So that's his stories. It's a bunch, I'm not sure if it's a bunch of like short stories and essays or if it's a full memoir, but I'm very excited to read it. And then on the next page we've got Jim Butcher's Grave Peril. Jim Butcher will pop up. Let me just tell you all the Jim Butcher books I have. I've got Grave Peril, Death Masks, and Summer Night. And I picked these up because I was working my way through the Dresden Files. I've read book 1 and 2 and I plan on to continue that. I bought it on my Kindle just because I don't really like mass market paperbacks. So yeah, and I got it during lockdown and I'm just working my way through them. The first lockdown, we're in another lockdown. But yeah, so I'm working my way through them. I'm enjoying them so far. They're kind of funny. They're very much episodic, serialized kind of fiction. So they're quite easy to get through and they're quite fun. And it's Harry, who's a warlock, wizard, dealing with the shenanigans of the magical world in the city. It's very good. He's magical detective. It's enjoyable. I like them. But yes, those three are sitting on my Kindle awaiting me to read them at some point. That series is huge, so I feel confident taking my time with it. So The Barrow by Mark Smiley. I am about 50% into the audiobook, but then I set the audiobook down and I've forgotten all except a few things that happen in this. But from what I remember, it's about a quest, about a heist. This is a fantasy book. I think it's about a heist, if I remember correctly, and it was good. I was enjoying it. I just put it down. I do that sometimes, and it's the most annoying thing I do. But yeah, so The Barrow, it's been on here for a while. I will read it. It's calling my name. Don't hold me to the fact that I'm going to read it this year, but I want to. And that should count. That should count, right? Then we've got Mira Grant, The Rising, or the News Flesh trilogy. I found all of these and I bought them because people were comparing what was happening in politics in 2020 with things in this book. I had to get my hands on it, and then I read a book about a pandemic and didn't handle that very well, so decided to put this off for a bit. But I do like zombies. Zombies are my jam. And in this we follow basically a zombie outbreak and the government, how they handle it, and I think it's through radio waves. I can't remember. I bought it, you know, a while ago, but I do want to read it. I want to read it so bad. It's calling my name. It's zombies. And then I have Melanie Murphy's If Only. This is a story that follows a girl and it shows the three paths her life could have taken if she had made different decisions. I believe there's a touch of magic in it. It's contemporary, it sounds nice, it sounds fluffy, but other contemporaries had my priority last year. That's just kind of how it goes sometimes. I really wanted to read Beth O'Leary, and let's just throw this in here for an honourable mention. This is one of my new favourite books of all time. And I love The Switch as well, and I can't wait for her road trip book to come out. But yes, I read this twice last year, and as much as I want to read If Only, sometimes you need your favourites. So I will get to If Only, just in due course. And then let's just ring the bell of shame. These last couple books I've had on here for a while. I've got Radiance by Grace Draven. I haven't read it yet. I'm sad. It's fantasy romance about two different peoples coming together and forming an alliance through marriage and falling in love. If you want a more in-depth discussion about what it's actually about, I will link up in the cards my last what's on my Kindle, because it was there then too, and I've just been really rubbish. And the other one I've been really rubbish about was Wolf by who is it by? Ryan Groudon. And this follows after World War II, if Hitler would have won and they had races and someone takes over a spot of a famous racer. We're going to say that that's what that's about. If it's not, I will put a description here. The last ones on here are some that authors were giving away last year at the start of the pandemic. They gave away some books for free, and I got The Colour of Us and The Pledge by Laura Ward and Christine Manzari. I just think these are new adult romances set on a university campus, I think. That's all I know about them. But they sound nice, they sound fluffy and light, so I'm sure I will be wanting something like that soon. Yeah, so I'll give those a read. Those are all the books I have. Now let's go into my ARC. I think I only have 4. So I got The Conjurer, which is the 3rd book in like the Vine Witch series. In the Vine Witch, we follow a girl, I've forgotten her name, which is really annoying, but I read it almost a year ago. We follow her as she lives in a kind of France-like country where they have different witches who do special things. Vine witches tend to the vineyards and help the wine and grapes grow as they should. And so we follow her as something has happened to her and she's going back home. And things ensue. And then I read the 2nd book and I loved it. It was great. And then I read the third book. Well, I'm gonna read the third book, The Conjurer, because I got approved for it on NetGalley and I can't wait. I'm so excited. I think these are also available on Kindle Unlimited if you have it. I do recommend checking them out. They're so nice and like beautifully written. I think I said quite a lot that it reminded me of Once Upon a River, except I think they have me hooked more. It took me a while to read Once Upon a River, but these are just so lush with description and the story and the idea. Chef's kiss, love, and I can't wait to read this. I will be reading this actually as soon as I finish filming. I'm so excited. And then I've got Ruby Falls, which is kind of a retelling, reimagining of Rebecca, in which a wife and her husband go and live in a spooky house and bad things start happening, I think. I read the description, I asked for it a while ago and I got approved the other day and I'm very excited. I haven't read Rebecca. I need to read Rebecca because I found out I like gothic horror. Gothic horror has a special place in my heart. What have I read? Silent Companions by Laura Purcell. So good. One of my favourite books of all time. The Only Good Indians. Like, gothic setting. Gothic vibes, but in a Native American setting. Genius. Mexican gothic. Loved. So, I found my niche. I like it. So, gothic horror is for me, and I want to read that, and I want to read Rebecca. But yeah, it's just Ruby Falls. That's all that's on it. And then I've got some... I've got Bird Cottage. Oh, I forgot I had this. I've got Bird Cottage. I got it through Edelweiss. And I can't remember what it's about at all. I'll pop a description here. The cover intrigued me. It had blue tits on it. It's beautiful. I will read it eventually. I think it's about a lady who gives up everything and moves to the countryside and does stuff with birds, which just sounds great. Sounds like my cup of tea. Set the Stars Alight by Amanda Dykes, and this is a pirate fantasy story. Or a boat I can't remember. It's been on here. I tried to read it and I was in a really bad slump. I will read it again. Description here. I will read it. And then Girls of Hawthorne and Glass. This is a super interesting concept. I started reading it, but I don't know how I feel about the writing. The writing is what I'm going to have to press through. But it's literally about a girl who's made of hawthorn and glass, and she is in charge of being an assassin and killing people who are bad and not really people. But I just, the writing, guys. Sometimes the concept is there, but the writing is not, and it just hurts my heart. But I am going to give it a go. Fingers crossed I will like it when I push through the 50% mark. I'm not sure. And then I did forget about Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. I will read it. I'm trying to work my way through the Cosmere. It's just going to take some time, take a flow. This is set where colours and magic, and there's two daughters. One was set up to be sent to be a princess in another country. The other one wasn't, and they had a swapperoo, and one gets sent to the other country and the other one doesn't, and they go to save each other. That's all I know. That's probably the worst description ever, but I don't know how many books that was. I don't want to count, so I'll put it here. Editing me can deal with that, and editing me can deal with the heartbreak and sadness of having that many books on my Kindle to read on top of all the books that I have on my TBR and unread shelf. We can do it. I just won't buy any more books. We all know that's a lie. Probably the biggest lie I tell myself is that I won't buy any more books. That's how I end up with this number. Anyway, tell me what you guys are reading. What was your last read? Have you had any 5 stars this year? I hope I do soon. Fingers crossed. As of now, I've had a lot of 4 stars, a 3 star, no 5 stars. Kind of sad, but we're not through the first month of the year, so there's time. Anyway, I hope you guys are all staying happy, safe and healthy, and I will see you next time in another video soon. Bye guys.